The Dead Speak.
The Dead Speak.
Oh my gosh. What a movie. All right, guys, we're talking about Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker like every casual person
Nerd.
out there. Well, not even nerd, like literally every single person on the planet right now talking about Star Wars because it's the weekend that it just opened up. And we're going to talk about it. So spoilers are going to happen for sure, which is why Kreger isn't here because he hasn't seen it as of recording this podcast. And we said, hey, instead of covering your ears for 45 minutes, maybe just don't show up for right now.
Can you guys believe that Rey's parents are Dr. Octopus and...
Oh, it's so crazy.
And Peter Parker?
Peter Parker.
What? Peter Parker and Dr. Octopus. Gender fluid Doc Ock.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Let's talk about... I want us to each give a concise thesis, like a statement, a quick statement of what we thought of the movie before we move into all the little things. So,
I have my
Cam,
thesis.
what's your thesis on this movie now seeing it? Because you guys literally just got out of it
Just
like an
got
hour
out,
ago.
yeah.
So it's not... And I've saw it 2
Friday?
days. Yeah, 2 days from when we
Yeah.
recorded this. So I've had a little bit more time to process.
I'll say in an expansive world when full-grown adults revel for the feeling that they got when they initially saw this movie as children, as the most scrutinized saga in the history of cinema,
Oh, yeah.
follows through with something that is true to its core.
Mm-hmm.
A vapid space opera with cool explodies.
Yes, it's a Michael Bay film done well.
100%. That's my thesis. Everyone that thinks Star Wars is this, like, fuck, it's my favorite franchise.
Yeah, me too.
It's not something to be excited about. Like, when it comes to storyline and plot, it's always been cheesy and rehashed. George Lucas's minor was anthropology, and he studied Joseph Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces before he even made Star Wars to make the most perfect story that is a story that it goes across.
Well, Star Wars has
every single
always
world.
been stolen from every other classic story.
It's worse than a cookie cutter.
Yeah,
Like it's
because it's
rehashed.
4 cookies melded into one
Yes.
giant Death Star cookie.
100%. So for me, it was fun. If you like movies and you want to see something that looks cool and you want to turn your brain off, the entire Star Wars saga is for you.
Joe, what did you think?
This was actually my favorite of the newest...
trilogy.
The new trilogy.
Mhm,
Definitely my favorite. A lot of fun. I was telling Cam, one of the things that I loved about it that is different than the other Star Wars movies was the pacing of this one.
Oh, the
It's
pacing of
so
this was
fast.
insane. For a 2-hour and 20-minute movie, there was no reprieve, actually.
No, there's no boring parts.
It was
there's
hard
no
to
slow parts.
It was hard to find a time to go to the bathroom, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It was done really well. Definitely my favorite. It's kind of like how Endgame was too. It's just kind of nice to put a end to
Well,
the
I just watched
saga.
Endgame last night, actually, too. And Endgame's pacing was done really well, except it's just too long.
It's a long movie.
This
yeah,
movie is
but
not
this
as
movie
long, which
great.
is okay. It
Pacing's
didn't
well.
feel long. What else?
There's the only thing I wish I would have seen a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I wish there was more or a little bit more visuals going into that final space battle.
Yeah.
I wanted more out of the actual space parts itself, though. We got spoiler alert when the rest of the allies come in.
Yeah.
That part is incredible.
So many ships. It was like the end of Mass Effect 3.
Yes.
Yeah,
when
no,
all the
seriously.
ships come in.
Because when that's exactly what it made me think of. When that happened, I just muttered under my breath, "Holy!"
Well, all I was thinking was, where were you in the last episode when they
The
used
Last
you on
Jedi.
Crate? I'm like, geez, way to show up like right at the end. So here's my thesis. I said, visually and emotionally, they got it right.
Oh,
But
yeah.
the character and narrative choices is where I have some issues. It ultimately did what it set out to do, answer all the questions and wrap up the story. The path that they continued down in The Last Jedi came to a fork in the road with this movie, and when I wanted them to turn right, they turned left. If the point of the movie was to have us feeling as conflicted about it as Rey and Kylo, then they have achieved something beyond metaphysical. With that said, I thoroughly enjoyed it, but hyped up story points in my head that didn't come to fruition. That's
Fair.
my thing. I liked the movie, but I also was upset at the writing of the movie. But I'm never going to fault them for it because it's like, look, I get it. You're trying to make it approachable.
Right.
And you made it approachable.
Yeah.
The fans like myself and possibly you guys who are so engulfed in this story that we've read the expanded universe things. We've played the video games. We watched the TV shows around it. We know everything in and around Star Wars. We wanted something a little bit more than just a straightforward story. But this movie is made for the casuals. It's made for the people that have seen the mainline saga movies, and that's about it.
Yep.
And that's fine. I'm not going to fault them for that. There's going to be, hopefully, TV shows down the road where we're going to get a little bit more into the weird stuff, like a Zori TV show or a Babu Frick TV show.
I would watch that.
Poe Dameron. I was telling Cam I would love to know more or learn more, see more about the Knights of Ren.
Seymour Butts.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Can we talk about like such a bummer of a like they hyped up the Knights of Ren through 2 movies, and then we see them just get cut down.
They just
like,
walk around.
They're literally
and die.
Nazgul that did nothing.
Yeah.
That's what they were. And what are their weapons? They're like these big broadswords and axes. I'm like, how is that helpful in this universe? Like, what are you doing? Like, hang on a sec. Ooh,
and to Nick's point, they were the Jedi that
at the
Luke,
academy that went with.
So why don't they have lightsabers?
Good question. JJ, what are you doing? Yeah. Because Kylo Ren didn't allow them because they are below him.
I would believe that.
Or maybe
or he could be more powerful just with Force, but
the
still
thing,
give him lightsabers.
No, but the thing could be we've learned that kyber crystals have been farmed.
True, and
maybe
probably
they're
in low supply.
super hard to find.
Maybe.
So maybe like
Rey was able to find a yellow one.
Yeah, but the thing is, the yellow ones are known. The only other people I've seen have a yellow lightsaber are the Jedi guards of the Jedi Temple in Rebels.
Jedi Sentinels too, right?
That's what the Jedi Sentinels are. Jedi guards of the. They're one and the same, synonymous. So maybe she went to the Jedi Temple and they had like some yellow kyber crystals kind of chilling there because they're supposed to be for the people who have the power and the knowledge. A perfect balance between power and knowledge gets the yellow
Where
ones.
you have the Guardians who are all swordsmen. You have the Greens who are very powerful in the Force, but not...
Yeah, Greens are more intellect.
Yeah.
Blues are more warrior.
Yep.
Reds are the ones who manipulated. Purple, I guess, is supposed to be...
When there's snakes on a plane?
Snakes on a plane, yes. It's supposed to be when they balance between the dark and the light side. They have
It makes sense because it's the red and blue.
Yeah, so I guess Mace Windu was supposed to be able to call upon his anger and emotions, but not be succumb to it.
Oh, okay.
Why he's the only one with a purple lightsaber. And then white is like Ahsoka Tano, I think is the only one with a white lightsaber, and that's more like the gray Jedi. Like she's not really a part of any team. She's just like doing her own thing.
It's like lightsabers are fun.
Yeah, so here, let's talk about some stuff. What did you guys think of the big plot point here of Rey's parentage? She's the granddaughter of Palpatine. She is a Palpatine.
I know that you were banking on clones super hard.
I was banking on
wanted
clones
that so bad.
I wanted it so bad.
I was in on it. I was like, this would be great.
Snoke was a clone.
Yeah, he was. However,
and there were multiple Snokes on that planet.
In a giant aquarium.
In the cesspool of incest that is Star Wars.
I know.
It makes sense.
It makes sense that everyone's related to everyone in this world.
I loved it, though.
Here's what I'll say.
The Palpatine things were great.
I let the Palpatine thing slide. I think it's a lazy narrative choice.
It's lazy.
But what made it cool is the dichotomy, the dyad, that Palpatine was able to pull from two of the strongest lineages of light side, dark side, which was weird because Rey, a Palpatine, was on the light side, and Ben Skywalker, or Solo, of the Skywalker lineage, was on the dark side of that. So, like, what's cool, too, is you learn that the Chosen One was not Anakin. The Chosen One was not Luke. The Chosen One was the two of them. The Chosen One was a chosen two.
And which makes sense because it had to be the balance of light and dark.
Exactly. The perfect balance came between the two of them. So I gave them, but you have to read between the lines to get there. So that's why I'm like, okay, it's lazy writing, and I'm kind of pulling out what I want this to be, even if you meant it to be that way or not. I'm inferring. So, I mean, my biggest concern with her being a Palpatine is that now we have the thought of Emperor Palpatine banging some chick.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't need that.
Well, Cam made a good point, too. He was Emperor. He was Chancellor.
He was good looking when he was before.
Not even that. He was a government official. So
he could have gotten any booty he wanted.
It's very true. It's very true. It could have happened. So whatever. That's fine. It's not the first
time.
Could have
been artificial insemination too.
That's true. He has done it before.
Oh, but then you have to imagine him like nutting in a cup.
What do you think he uses for material?
Just
Darth Plagueis.
just Twi'lek.
It's just a holocron of Darth Bane.
Yeah.
Well, that is one thing that I liked. They did figure out what Palpatine said in the prequels, how Plagueis was able to keep the ones that he loved from dying.
I find it unnatural. So yeah, I like that. That's fine. Here's another thing though. It's not the first time in a Star Wars story that Palpatine has had a kid. There is a Star Wars Legends book, I think called not Splinter. No, Splinter of the Mind's Eye. I think is something else. I forget which one, but it was like Gary Palpatine or something. Like it was something stupid.
Like
Gary?
Seriously, it was something stupid like that. But Palpatine
Played by
had
Gary
a kid.
Busey?
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that'd
was
be
so
sick.
bad. It's just a bummer that they had to have everyone related. Whatever, that's fine. Okay, moving on from that. Great.
Well, I had to explain why Rey was so powerful to begin
and
with.
that's one thing I'm okay with. It explains why Rey knew how to do all this stuff without any formal training.
Loved the Force lightning coming out of her.
Oh, that was sick.
Okay, let's jump to that since you brought it up. I'm a little bummed that they didn't kill Chewbacca.
I am too.
I think that for her story arc, because the whole cast has got to go eventually, right? Like it has to happen.
And when that happened, that was my first thought. I was like, oh, so that's how this movie is going to be. Everyone's going to die.
It's the first moment in the movie, my mouth went agape. Seriously, visceral reaction, mouth open, hand over mouth for a solid minute. And as much as I was like, oh no, Chewie, I don't want him to die. That was the perfect way because that could have followed Rey all the way to the final conflict of like, I can't control these powers. I am scared of myself. I literally killed my best friend in the universe right now.
Do you think that was the original plan and then
Probably.
writers got scared and said,
Disney.
no, let's turn this around again?
I don't think that was the original plan because I don't think JJ is that bold. I think that he is not that bold. What movie has he done where he's been that bold?
That's true. That's a good
That's
point.
also
He
very
doesn't
fair.
take very
That
many
would have been a
risks
Ryan
like that.
Johnson move, but
Yeah.
not a J.J. Abrams
Yeah,
move.
he does not take risks like that.
But speaking of Chewie, he got his medal finally.
Yeah.
Cam had to explain that to me. I was like, I didn't understand what that was.
It's a story that the reason he didn't actually get his medal at the end of A New Hope is because it was broken.
Yeah.
And it's like a comic, I think, where they show that. But actually in the 1997 MTV People's Choice Awards, they did give
They give
Chewie
Chewie a medal.
up there. Leia gave it to him.
Nice.
So, but I was happy about that he got his medal.
Well, since you just brought it up, that was another thing that we were talking about, that we felt the Leia death could have had a little bit more to it.
A little more
Well,
poetic.
If Carrie Fisher was still around, believe me, they would have done a lot more with her character.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: the most glaring absence of her, which cool moment. Han Solo shows back up.
Yeah, did not expect that.
When I heard
Nope.
"Hey kid," I was like,
Yeah.
"There's no way it's Han. There's
Yep.
no way it's Harrison Ford."
Yep.
And then freaking Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
You knew that scene was meant for Leia
Yep.
to be there to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to him, and they had to retrofit it a little bit. They did it in a very great way that was fan service for
Yep.
everyone. I was fine with it, but I agree. I think Leia was supposed to play a way more prominent role in this movie.
Well, it also fit with the storyline, how they've been commenting in all three movies how Kylo's been struggling with
The
killing
absence
Han.
of his father. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Although I love too, and he said that he loved his dad. He's like, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's always just saying I know.
Yeah, that's all he
never
does.
says I love you back.
No, he doesn't.
It was great. I will say, in probably every movie in this whole trilogy, Adam Driver kills it.
Oh, he's the best.
The acting kills it.
He's the best actor in the whole thing.
Oh my gosh! I just saw a trailer for a new movie on Netflix. It's either Netflix or Hulu or something called Marriage Story.
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
It's
does
on
he know
Netflix.
how to act?
He's great.
He knows how to
He's
act.
incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Did you see him in Black Klansman?
No, I want to see that though.
Dude.
I heard that was a great movie.
It's a phenomenal movie.
Did you watch Girls?
I did watch Girls.
Speaking of Ben Solo / Kylo Ren, what did you think of his redemption arc over the 3 movies?
I'll take it because he's also trying to chase the lineage of his grandfather, so he follows suit perfectly.
I thought this was great. I thought this was the best redemption arc out of any character we've had in a Star Wars
Yeah,
movie.
definitely.
It was great. It's the most narratively consistent story out of the 3 movies, because there's so much that Last Jedi took one way and then it just got thrown away that it feels like you're really getting jerked around a lot narratively. This one was a lot more solid, and I like that.
Your thumbnail is so tiny.
Is it tiny? Oh, it is really tiny. I have a tiny thumbnail.
Show me.
It's the thumbnail I put on all of our
Why is it so little?
I don't know. It's just how I was born.
Is your other one also little?
Not as little.
As little.
Why do you
I
have
was-
just one tiny thumb?
As Lady Gaga say, I was born this way.
Nice.
So I loved his new helmet in this one with the red
with the red was
cracks.
so
and it was
good.
great symbolism too with the cracks and
Yeah.
like his ability
And
to
how-
stay with the dark side and everything.
and how he's just a fragile person.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm also like, why did we have to reforge this? Can you just go get a new helmet? Like steal from one of the Knights of Ren? They all have like similar helmets.
Yeah.
Just like take that. Why didn't Leia do this thing in The Last Jedi when they were literally almost at their last ropes, not use the Force projection thing to quell Kylo's angry spirit?
Because she knew
Why
that
did
if she
she
did
do
it
it?
one more time, she would die.
Yeah, but they were literally at the point where they were like, there were 20 people left in the Resistance. They're stuck on Crate.
They also thought that Luke was gonna help.
And Leia.
They didn't know Luke was going to help until he showed up at the last second. I mean, I don't know. I think that like if she was able to do this,
Did Leia do a force projection in this one?
what
I don't
she
think
did,
she
connected.
She
Well,
connected.
she connected, yes,
yeah, that's
but
what
it
I mean.
wasn't
But
an actual like
no,
force
but
projection.
what I'm saying is, why didn't she connect and quell Ben's spirit earlier in this?
The most important part is that we discovered that Leia's a Jedi.
Well, crazy good Jedi with that flashback with her and
Yeah.
Luke training. She's as good as Luke.
Yeah.
She made a
And
pretty
so
cool lightsaber
that
too.
makes everyone being like, oh, her stupid little like Mary Poppins flying
Yeah.
thing. That shit. I'm like, well, makes sense now, huh?
Yeah.
You feel real dumb now making fun of that.
Yep.
Also, now we know that people can literally raise people from the dead in these movies and
Which is
stuff. Like,
insane.
you know, like these movies have become a one-up.
Yeah.
Like I
Yeah.
was telling Cam, I'm like, oh, Death Star, Star Killer base, now Death Star on every Star Destroyer. Like,
Yeah.
you know? And then, oh, cool, you can manipulate rocks. Now you can throw things. Now you can heal people. Now you can raise people from the dead. Like, like it's just kind of...
Well, I mean, it just shows how powerful she is. Because even
Yeah.
have you seen the latest Mandalorian?
Yeah, I know. They
Yeah.
they literally did that just so people would be like, oh, Baby
On board.
Yoda did it. That's cute. And so then when they did it in
Yeah.
the movies, like, I guess since I'm okay with Baby Yoda doing
Yeah.
it, that
Yeah.
I'm
It was a
okay
good
with Rey
precursor.
doing it.
Obi-Wan does it too
And-
in A New Hope a little bit when Luke's laying down after he gets hit by the gaffy stick from the sand person.
Oh, you're right. I
Yeah.
guess
It's been around.
they don't outwardly say that is force healing, but
Yeah.
if you want to get into it, I could see how that could be
Yeah.
force healing. That's fine. I'll take that. I'll take that as a force heal.
Did you notice that Rey also healed Kylo's facial scar?
Yeah.
Yeah. Healed everything.
Yeah.
It was great. I don't mind the new force abilities. I'm totally cool with it because I think they've always been out there. We just haven't seen them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason why people are always like, well, why when there were so many Jedi that were being trained from like children in the prequels and all this? I said, the Jedi were at their most arrogant then.
Yeah.
They thought they were ruling everything. They didn't train as hard as
Yeah.
they could have. They didn't try. They were just like, look,
They had
we're
no
here.
enemy.
No, they were like, we're here. We're doing what we want to do, and we're not going to like push ourselves past a certain
Yeah.
point. So I think I that's how I narratively kind of
Piece it in.
Piece it
Yeah.
in. Yeah, exactly. Super cool fight scene with Rey handing off
The lightsaber.
to Ben.
Yeah.
I love that they've honed in enough that their little
Yeah.
force like connection, they're able to move things through
Through
it.
the- yeah.
Like a Star Trek transporter.
Yeah,
you know?
it is sick.
Like when she goes back and then she comes up and there's nothing there, I was like Houdini.
Yeah.
And then Ben's like, I got it.
It looked so good.
Oh, so good, so good. And that she gets to have Luke and Leia's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Oh, so
No,
good.
I wish Leia's was a different color.
I kind of wish a little bit too that but like what would have been in like pink? Like I almost thought that when they turned it on, it was going to be pink.
I was expecting like an orange. or
Yeah, I was
something.
expecting
we
a
haven't
yellow
really
or orange
seen
as well.
orange. Like maybe
Yeah.
we've seen a Jedi in the background of like
With
the
an orange,
Geonosian
yeah.
one or something, but I
I don't even think so. I think those
you
are
don't
all
think so?
green and blue.
Green, blue,
And Windu.
yeah. I don't know. So that was the coolest. That and the fight scene on the Death Star wreckage.
Oh, that
were
was sick.
Two of the coolest fight
Yeah.
scenes. But I also feel like the Knights of Ren just didn't put up enough of a fight.
No, they were
No.
useless.
Yeah, yeah.
They just
Two-
looked cool.
Two force abilities I was never really on board with. Force jump and force dash.
Same.
Like this the like
Well,
like in episode 1 when like
They do the
Qui-Gon
force
and-
dash, but
yeah,
then
and they're
somehow
like,
Obi-Wan just forgets about it when he's supposed to be running down to help Qui-Gon
Yeah.
through the corridor.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I never liked the force dash
Yeah.
in episode 1
It's
and I've
literally
never
was
been a big
only
fan of force jumps.
Force jump and force dash were literally put in place for video games.
Yeah.
that
Seriously.
was the only reason they were there. Because I mean, what are you going to use force healing for in a video game? Like that, it doesn't really.
You use it,
It doesn't
in,
matter.
in Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah,
but,
use it a
but
lot.
exactly. But like, it's not a cool looking thing.
No.
But it's like it's useful in a story. You know. So I agree with that. I was gonna say one thing and I totally forgot. Oh well.
Yeah, there was something I wanted
let's
to
keep
say,
moving
too,
down. So
about the,
Exegol, what did you
Death
guys think
Star.
of the Sith homeworld of Exegol?
You hated how stroby it was.
So my biggest complaint of this movie was for 40 minutes we're on Exegol, I had a headache the rest of the day.
Oh, I didn't. I was totally okay with the strobes.
I loved
Yeah.
the lightning and
Am I
strobes.
am I the only one who's like upset about this? Because I was asking a lot of people, I'm like, were you upset about this? And no one else has been upset.
No.
I thought this was a stupid
I thought it was
visual
an
choice.
excellent
Yeah, I thought it
choice.
looked fantastic.
Especially when how the lightning worked on Palpatine's face.
Yeah.
But how
I-
it looked like it was more changing or like a different.
I would have been
perspective
fine with
everything.
it on the first scene where it's like 3 minutes when you go to Exegol, but for 40 minutes when you're doing like a space battle with a lot of flashes, you're doing a lightsaber battle with a lot of flashes, and then you have the strobe effect on top of it, I was just like, my eyes can't handle this.
Yeah, it
right
didn't
now.
bother me whatsoever.
Man, maybe it's like seasickness. Maybe if I tell my brain I'm not seasick, then your body responds to not seasick. Maybe if I tell my brain the strobe effect, or tell my body
If you
the
tell
strobe
yourself,
effect.
I'm not a little.
I'm
you won't
not
be a little
exactly,
bit.
exactly. That's essentially what it is. So maybe I went into it like just like I don't know. Maybe I had a headache already going into it.
Yeah.
But Exegol, I like the planet. I thought it was cool. If it is
I like
even
the
a
way
planet.
to get to the planet.
Yeah, so cool. Which hyperspace skipping? What do you guys think about hyperspace skipping?
I
don't buy it.
I don't either. I'm not even really
I'm not
sure what it is.
Yeah, I like it's supposed to be what Han Solo did in The Force Awakens to get into Starkiller Base.
Yeah.
But I'm also like, I thought the whole point of hyperspace, like I didn't know you could come out of it with stuff behind you.
Yeah.
I thought it had to be a clear
Yeah.
path from point A to point B, and nothing
Because-
could be in between it.
Okay, yeah, because then that completely disproves The Last Jedi when whatever the general's name.
Hodo?
Yeah.
Holdo?
Did the the warp into
slammed his
the
face.
dreadnought or whatever.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't know.
Snoke's
And I like how
ship.
too they're like, what about the Holdo maneuver? And they're like, that's 1 in a billion. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, okay, so everything is 1 in a billion here. And also how like C-3PO's quote unquote death was like a non-death too. Like
was
there was
kinda
just a lot
funny,
of
though.
I like
non-deaths
his,
in
his
this.
Sith eyes though.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. All right, so we talked about the pacing. Pacing was pretty cool. First half of the movie felt like Indiana Jones to me.
Yeah.
It was like-
very adventure-y.
Let's go to all
Very
these cool
adventure-y,
planets
yeah.
to find this thing we need. You
Yeah.
know, I really enjoyed that. I like that. I like the new Force abilities. Definitely, I think
do too.
I think they're fine. I cried multiple times.
Me too.
I didn't cry once.
Really,
I
when
cried
Leia
5
died,
times.
I cried because
When?
when Leia died,
Oh, yeah.
when Chewie heard and he just like was just that got me. That got me. How did you guys feel about her being written out though? Do you like the way they wrote her out? I was fine with it.
I was fine.
I know
with
we
it.
agreed that like we wanted to see a little bit more of her, but I
Yeah,
think
but-
they did a good.
Yeah, it was fine.
That end scene where like she walks off and everyone's kind of like, "What's going on?" and stuff. Like I thought that was driven by just pure emotion.
Yep.
And I was fine with it.
Yeah.
I was fine with it. So, I also cried when getting to the very very end, Ben gave all of his life force
Yes.
over to Rey.
Yeah.
Then I stopped
I was-
crying and said, "What the f-" when they kissed.
I was okay with the end of Kylo's story arc.
Yeah, I'm fine with the end
However,
of it.
I was perfectly fine with it. I'm happy with it. However, I think I would have liked him to stay alive.
I don't think he should have stayed alive. I think that the ultimate redemption arc for him was sacrificing himself.
Yeah,
which
that's
he
true.
did. 'cause,
That's true.
I just think. So here's the thing. I just watched Endgame last night. For those of you, I'm going to spoil it right now. For if anyone hasn't watched it yet,
This entire podcast
It's
is
spoiler, but this is a
spoilers.
different movie. This is a different movie we're talking about now. So the scene on Vormir where Natasha. Have you guys seen Endgame?
Yes.
We did a podcast.
That's right.
about it.
Okay, good. I'm just making sure. Where Hawkeye and Black
Natasha.
Widow, they have a moment before one of them sacrifices himself. The moment is not driven by romantical notions. It's driven by a pure respect for one another.
And
And they have a moment
selflessness.
where they embrace kind of. This could have had that. They were doing that. They were like in each other's arms. Respect, like we've made it to the end of this. Like
And
we
then they
hated each other at one point.
romanticized it.
And then they had to kiss. And I get they did it for like they did it because again, this is a movie for the casuals and everyone's been shipping them. Fine. I felt like it took away from that moment because up to the point they kissed, I was so emotionally invested. I was bawling like a baby.
To me, that kiss didn't seem sexual or love anyway. It was like we just endured a lot of we're two humans embracing.
No, it seemed like it was completely unwarranted. It felt forced to me. It felt forced ability to me.
There's only 3 more in this bag.
Cam has eaten a whole bag of caramel chews on this podcast. So
I
didn't
agree.
like it.
I would have rather had them not kiss.
I would have rather too. But whatever, fine. They did it. I'll get over it.
Well, I
it's
mean,
all good.
other than that, in this new trilogy, there really isn't a love story.
Okay, so let's talk about what was Finn going to tell Rey. Do you think Finn was going to tell Rey he had feelings
That's
for
true.
her?
We still don't know what his secret was.
Or what I think is he's force sensitive. I 100% think he's force sensitive. He always had the wherewithal to know what was good.
Yeah.
He was able to wield a lightsaber quite adeptly against the Sith Lord for like a minute or two and against the Stormtrooper without any training. He talked a lot about having a feeling.
Yeah, knowing
in this movie
and knowing what to do and has a feeling where things are.
I think Shanna is force sensitive as well.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're learning there's a lot of force sensitive people around, and I think that's what he was going to tell her because Madison brought up a good point. He did say he had feelings for her at one point, and she didn't reciprocate.
Yeah.
So why would he say it again then? Like, I think he was going to say...
Yeah, he was going to say something different.
I am force sensitive. Because he feels when Rey dies. Mm-hmm. There's a moment where it locks onto him, and he has that look like he knows something happened. Like Leia, when they're flying away from Cloud City, and she goes, we got to go back.
Yeah.
So I think that's what he was going to say. Do you guys agree with that, or?
Yeah, I think that's a fair
assessment. I could see that. Yeah, that he's feeling something. He feels somewhat force sensitive. Maybe not to like Rey's level, but
just like, hey, I have a bit of the ability.
There's something
also,
stewing in here.
Oscar Isaac, talking about romantic things. Oscar Isaac said how unhappy he was with the fact that they didn't take the Finn Poe bromance to a full-fledged romance.
Yeah,
they could have easily.
I wish
been very, very like relevant with that relationship. They did a little bit.
They did the complete opposite way with Poe and
Poe wasn't even. I was like, oh, we all thought Poe was gonna be gay, and he's not. Like he ends up being like Zori having a thing.
The girl you never see her face.
No, you never see her face. But I also want to know more about her. She looks so
she's
cool.
rad.
She does look cool.
She was only brought in because they're definitely gonna do a TV show about her. Definitely gonna do a TV show about her, which I don't mind. I love her character. But here's the thing: we did see. I forget what the girl's name is, but she's been in like all 3 movies.
Oh, Yoda.
Rose.
No. The background girl, and she had a kiss with I assume who was her partner.
The curly-haired blonde girl.
Yes, exactly. So they brought in a little bit of a gay relationship
which
there,
I like.
but it was
they
a
did that.
background relationship. I'm like, you could have had Poe and Finn.
Yeah.
A forefront gay relationship in the Star Wars universe. I mean, if you're going to have Lando be like only attracted to droids, you can't do it like you could do a real thing. You
Honestly,
know?
it goes back to JJ not taking risks.
No risks.
Yeah.
No risks.
Because
Isaac,
because they wanted it. That's why they had it in
there's an
the
interview.
background.
There's an interview that Oscar
not for a
Isaac
main
did where
character.
he totally bashed them for doing. He said the Disney overlords just wouldn't let it be. I'm like, wow, you just threw Disney under
he's
the
right.
bus.
Yeah.
He's right.
But that's bad for his career. Like they may give him a little bit of a bad break on that one. But hey, good for him for speaking out on that.
Put it in the background, but don't make it main characters.
I know, that's such a bummer.
That
They
was a
should have
bummer.
made it a main character.
It's a Disney move.
Yeah,
definitely.
So here's the thing. When I got to the end of this movie, I had a slight twinge of unsatisfied feeling, like uncatharsis. And I
know what you mean.
I think I figured out why. So the last half of this movie is very reminiscent of Return of the Jedi. Very, very much so. And I think almost to the point where the end scene was almost them celebrating on a jungle planet.
Yeah, it was real close.
Yeah, right?
And also,
they show the Ewoks.
They showed Bespin. Like, they did almost things beat for beat what Return of the Jedi was. And
I was just waiting for that shot of Naboo.
I realized what it was. At the end of the Return of Jedi, we thought, it's over.
Yeah.
It's all done. Palpatine's gone. And then they brought him back. So when I got to the end of this one, I go, well, why should I feel this is over? You've proven that this is a comic book movie. No one's really dead. They can come back. So I felt almost unsatisfied. Like, yeah, great. You guys killed Palpatine for the 3rd time. Like, he's just going to come back again in 30 years. Like, you know, like it just, I just felt bummed about that. I felt gypped, you know?
I just wish we saw the smoldering corpse of Palpatine and his face just
Because all they
obliterated.
did was, they had him disappear this time, like dusting almost from Infinity War. But I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't stop anything. He went like down a freaking chute and turned into purple goo like the Ivan Ooze, and it got blown up all at the same
Yeah.
time. And
Yeah.
yet he still survived.
He survived that.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, so what makes me think he's dying on this one? I'm not buying that he died in this one
Because
either.
this was more of a forced death.
Well, here's the thing, too. This death was done by him. So people,
Yeah.
one of the biggest plot holes people bring up is, well, Rey killed him, so why didn't he take over her body?
Because she didn't kill him in anger.
She killed him with his own
Yeah.
force ability.
Yep.
She just pushed it back on him. So I'm like, okay, that could explain, like, it took all of his unlimited power to kill himself kind of thing, you know? But whatever. We'll get there. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he won't. I don't know. You know, we'll see what happens. End scene. What did you guys think of the end scene that
I cried.
Kevin Smith thinks was the greatest thing on the planet?
It was great.
I cried, dude. I got my
I-
twin sunsets.
That was the third time I cried in this movie. Was that one? It wasn't an all-out cry.
No,
it was
just
more
like
like a welling up of
tearing.
tears.
Yeah.
was
Although after processing for a little while, I'm like, are you allowed to take the Skywalker?
I
You're
was
not a
thinking that
Skywalker.
too.
Like,
I don't know if I'm okay with her
I
taking a
almost feel like
Skywalker
it
name.
would have been better her to be like, I'm a Palpatine and own it. Like, I'm changing
For me,
what that means.
For
like,
me,
I'm
I
a
liked,
Hitler.
I liked
you
that
know?
she took the moniker, and I'm gonna make that a soundbite of you saying,
I'm a Hitler.
"Yes." So I'm gonna just play it
Yeah,
all the
yeah.
time. She was searching for her parents and her family the entire time. Luke and Leia were her only two parents,
True.
right? She sees them.
It's like Alabama and their siblings.
It's like an adoptive thing.
Yeah.
To where she's like, you know what? I'm going to carry on the name for them, not for me.
I don't buy that they both knew that she was a Palpatine the whole time, though. Because they say in this one that they both knew and decided to train her anyway. And I'm like, I don't know if I buy that.
Yeah. I don't know.
They could have felt it.
I
guess.
almost would have liked it more if she took the name Solo.
Yeah. I would like it if she
I think that
just
would've been
went
cool.
Ray what? And she just went just
Just Rey.
Like she did earlier.
Boom. Let it be herself. But they had to tie it in with the whole Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah. Which the Rise
Yeah.
of Skywalker could have been Ben.
Could have been.
Yeah, it
exactly.
should have been
He
is what it
finally
was.
took back his name.
Yeah.
It should have been.
Ben Skywalker instead of Ben Solo. Because
Yeah.
he's taking his mother's lineage
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah,
You know?
that's really what it should have been.
Just Ray would have been better.
Did you guys like Luke's Force Ghost being able to finally pull that X-Wing
Yeah,
out, of the,
I loved it.
out of the water that he could never do on Dagobah?
I cried during that part
That was
too.
great. That was great. What'd you think of all
Same
the
music too.
It was. They had their music cues were on point.
Solid.
When she walked into the throne room, you heard the real slow where when he takes Vader's helmet off at the end of Return. Oh, everything was so like I said, emotionally they got you in
they
this
did.
movie.
They did.
What did you think of all the Jedi voices that were
it was
with
cool.
Oh,
Rey?
I love that because I was trying to pinpoint who was who.
Yeah.
So who'd you pinpoint? Because I was trying the same thing.
I got obviously Luke, Yoda.
Mace.
Mace was in there.
I didn't hear Mace.
Qui-Gon
I
was
got
in
I got
there.
Qui-Gon
Obi-Wan.
and Obi.
Hayden Christensen.
I did
Yeah.
hear that too. Yep, I did get him.
I heard that Ahsoka was supposed to be in there. I didn't hear Ahsoka.
I didn't hear
but
Ahsoka.
apparently she was supposed to be in there. And then I remember hearing someone say one other random one, and Kanan from Rebels was supposed to be in there. I heard
I never
someone
watched
say.
Rebels. So.
Yeah, neither did
and,
I.
And his voice sounds like a lot of the other voices.
Okay.
So, Ezra from Rebels
Yeah,
was supposed
yeah.
to be in there. Maybe it wasn't Kanan. Maybe it was Ezra who was supposed to be in there.
Who's Ezra?
Ezra is the main character protagonist
okay.
of that show. So what did you guys think of the Sith Coliseum behind
Dude,
them? Of, like,
That
all the
was
Sith-
cool.
gnarly.
Oh, there's so many of them. I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, this is like the Sith Jedi Wars
Yeah,
from like
it was
millennia
awesome.
ago. It was so cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
What did you think of the lightning that he was able to just hit the ships he wanted to?
Dude, I mean, if he's the most powerful and he just absorbed their light force, dude, go for it.
yeah,
that's true. It makes sense,
Again-
especially when he just took their
Yeah.
light force.
arrogance though. He took just enough life force, but left just enough for
Enough
them
for
to
them to be
like
alive.
mess with them to be like,
Yep.
look at me destroy your people. You know?
Watch.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Dio, the little droid?
The band?
Yes, yes, Dio the fan. No, the droid.
I think they whip it.
I like this droid a little bit.
He's cute.
He reminded me of a rescue dog.
Yeah.
Where he's like, "Don't touch me. No, thank you."
And,
No,
and
thank you.
honestly, all I thought of was, Well, here's the next viral meme.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Did you guys like Janna? I liked her character a lot. She was the stormtrooper that was
the
living
stormtrooper
on
next
the
to
yeah.
other Endor moon. I liked her
Mhm.
character a lot. Can I say I'm going to tell you my favorite scene right now. When they launch a land raid on a freaking Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
That whole thing was
On
so
weird horse dogs.
Oh my gosh, that whole scene. I'm just like, this is the best.
They're not on speeders.
Yeah, that was like so cool. I was
Oh,
literally,
so
good.
I was geeking out so much
It
during
was
that
awesome.
scene. It was great. One thing that I thought, a person who I thought would show up in this movie never did, DJ. Benicio del Toro's character from The Last Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he would come back in some capacity in this movie.
I'm
Never even
okay with him being
mentioned.
gone.
Never even mentioned. But it's just a bummer. And I thought Captain Phasma would show up at some point too. Like
Well,
when they,
didn't she die?
I thought it was never conclusive. Like
She
dropping
fell into an explodey fireball.
Darth Maul,
Not a-
Emperor
not a
Palpatine,
Jedi, not a Sith,
Boba
not a Sith.
Fett. Boba Fett's gonna still be around.
Not that we know of.
Not yet.
He's gonna be around. Let's be honest. Her armor is, I think, Beskar armor. That could withstand that.
Could've.
That could withstand that. She's pretty much a Mandalorian. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I thought she was going to show up is when they capture. When did they? Wait, I'm trying to remember. They capture the some of them on something.
Yeah.
They had some of them for some reason, and a girl stormtrooper talks. I
Yeah.
thought it was going to be her,
Mm.
but it wasn't. It was
No.
just a girl stormtrooper to let us know there's girl stormtroopers. Dark Ray being a Force vision.
I called that from the trailer.
We all
Yeah,
that was
that
the
was
most that was
well
the most
known.
Yeah.
Occam's razor
Yeah.
moment ever.
Everyone
you know,
knew that's what it was gonna be.
Her lightsaber was dope, though.
Her lightsaber was dope. Although I'm like, it's just an easy way to work it into a story. Like,
Yeah, but it looks really cool.
it looked cool, but I'm like, make it a little bit more. Like, I don't know, whatever. Hux,
Yeah.
God, that guy he got shafted in this trilogy.
Well, he's
like,
a little
he,
boy anyway.
but he went from being super menacing in the first movie, like
Yeah.
literally calling to arms the army to destroy, genocide
Yeah.
everyone, to being like, oh, I'm the spy, but I don't really care about you, and then I'm gonna get shot 5 seconds later, and no one's gonna care about me at all.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, General Hux.
General Hux they really dropped the ball on his character in this
Yeah,
movie, in my
I
potential.
agree.
There was potential to have a really cool story arc here.
No, there was.
Didn't happen.
No.
Another moment that I hated was like the whole from a certain point of view moment they had in this one where Kylo's like, well, I didn't really lie to you. Your parents kind of were nobody.
But it was their parents.
But yeah, but I'm like, that's just so, I don't know. It felt like we've heard this before like 1,000 times in this trilogy. Let's see. Rey, okay. That's everything.
Yeah.
We've talked about everything I wanted to talk about. Was there
What
anything
was
you
your
guys,
favorite part?
The two parts. The moment where she hands off the lightsaber, I got so many goosebumps during that moment. It was so cool. And then the whole battle, the whole battle sequence of the land battle on the Star Destroyer, the space battle when everyone shows up and it's like finally no lightning, the light like a sun shining through with just like millions of ships. Where you see the Razor Crest was there from the Mandalorian. Did you see that? Razor Crest was there. The Ghost from Rebels was there.
Yep.
One of the Hammerhead ships from Rogue One, a Corellian Hammerhead was there. It was insane. And getting Lando to like fly that thing again. Oh my
was
gosh.
sick.
Maybe they needed Lando in The Last Jedi to persuade people with his Colt 45 coolness to actually
Probably.
come help fight, you know?
Yeah.
Those were my two favorite parts in the
Yeah.
whole movie for sure.
What about you, Cam?
I don't know if I have favorite parts yet. There weren't any parts that like
Were
to me it
memorable
was
or-
just like, no, they were all memorable. But it was so pedal to the metal that there wasn't that natural breathing to where when a big part happened, it stood out.
Oh yeah.
That's true.
This
it was very
just-
pedal to the
This
metal.
was
Yeah.
the first Star Wars movie where I'm like, this pacing is insane.
It's
Yeah.
so
this
fast.
This
That's
is
what
a
I thought,
Marvel
too.
movie pacing wise.
Yeah. I couldn't get that out of my head watching it.
Yeah.
I was
Also,
like, this pacing
C-3PO
is
was
fast.
probably the funniest character in the whole movie.
Oh yeah.
He had some good zingers in there.
He did.
I liked it when they went through the quicksand and like, where's everyone? He's like, I'm here too.
Yeah. He didn't check and see if I was
Didn't
fine,
say
but I'm
my
here.
name, but I'm here too.
Yeah.
And we got a brief porg.
Yeah, we did get to
sighting.
see a porg. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know. There were a lot. Well, Joe, what was your favorite moment then?
That final battle.
Yeah.
Like everything about that was great. The sabers and the Jedi and Sith fighting down on the
Yeah.
on the planet, everyone fighting up ahead, and that Mass Effect 3,
Oh,
all
so
those
many
ships
ships.
coming. Oh, that was so
So
great.
many ships. That's just Easter egg porn right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
so good. So good. I think another thing that I kind of was upset about was the fact that they had planet destroying lasers on every Star Destroyer.
And why were they so easy to destroy?
The ships or the cannons, because
The
both
cannon,
of them.
yeah.
You just destroy the cannon and the ship goes
Yeah,
with
literally, it was like an X-wing. Like one
Yeah.
X-wing was able to destroy it. I'm like, do they not know how
I
to
don't know.
put
It'd probably be
shields?
pretty easy
Well,
to
no, they
destroy
also
a
said that the
Ferrari.
shields would have been down.
That's true. Oh, the shields were down because
Yeah.
they were in
They destroying
Exegol,
the
Yeah.
antennas.
navigation and shields were not able to be
Yeah.
used on Exegol because of the lightning and
Yeah.
everything. That's right. Okay. Yeah. So that was Rise of Skywalker. Overall, I don't know if I'm going to see it in theaters again. Honestly,
I might see it one more time.
I might see it one more time in like a few weeks.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on seeing it again. I definitely want to watch it again.
Oh, yeah.
But again, like I said, my head hurts so bad. I don't know if I just want to wait till I can watch it in the comfort of my home and not have to have a headache for a whole day afterwards. Or
Have
maybe,
your bottle of Advil next to you.
or just maybe I could psych myself up not to be
Yeah, 'cause
susceptible
It
to
really
it.
wasn't that bad.
Because I think it is. I went into it knowing Disney released a disclaimer saying, "Hey, if you're prone to epilepsy and seizures, don't go see this movie." And so I think I was going into it thinking like, "Oh no,
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna come out of it with a headache
Yeah.
now." So maybe now seeing it, I can tell myself, you're fine."
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
So we'll see. Yeah. If anyone else out there got a major headache and thought it was awful, let me know that I'm not the only one sitting on this lonely island all by myself.
Charlie Shaw.
Charlie Shaw. Yeah.
I think if there were any like main parts or anything that was cool that we forgot to mention.
Well, we got introduced to a new planet that got subsequently blown up right afterwards.
Yeah.
What was it called? Kojima?
Code.
Kojima? Hideo Kojima. Yeah, there were a lot of moments of fake out deaths in this movie too. A lot
Yeah.
of fake out death moments, and I
Few
feel like
too
that's
many.
really lazy. I feel like that's the equivalent of a band just doing like a key change
Yeah.
to evoke emotion. It's the same thing in this. It's
Yeah.
like a lazy way to do it. But anyway, let us know what you thought with Star Wars. I almost said Star Trek. The Rise of Star Trekker.
With Star Trekker, the Star Trekker trekking.
The person and stuff. Yeah. Let us know what you think. Let us know how many times you've seen it.
Yeah.
There's probably people out there who have seen it like 3 or 4 times already.
Yeah, I know Nick's going
Yeah.
again.
Oh, I
in
didn't
2 days.
mention. Guys, Divisive. Do you know what it has on Rotten Tomatoes right now?
I know that it is the critic rating is low.
I know, yeah, I heard it's getting bombed.
57% for critic rating.
Yeah.
It is being crapped on. It has an 86 audience score, so the audience is still there. But this is I think this is the first Star Wars movie with this much critic
stretch.
backlash.
Yeah.
But that's also, like, to Cam's point, it's also the most criticized movie.
Yeah.
True.
Like,
True.
I feel like most people are going into this already with judging eyes and already with a critical mind,
Yeah.
rather than just going, I'm just happy to be in a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
or like
I guess
to just
for-
be back in this universe.
I
And
guess
that's the
for a
only thing that
40
it should be for.
yeah, just
I
go
guess
for the
for
pure
a-
entertainment value.
Well, for a 42-year saga, they did okay ending
That's
it.
fine.
They did
I'm okay
fine.
with
They
it.
did fine ending it. So
I'm
I'm
okay
okay
with
with
the
it. I never really care about people's points of the movie or their like responses until a few until it's out on Blu-ray, because let's be honest, we're all hyped up on it. Like you don't have enough time to process until you've seen it multiple times and had time to think about it and then go back and watch all the movies together, knowing everything that's going to happen.
Yeah.
When you know the ending and you know things, you can pick things out. Maybe you can see things. So I think it'll be, people might come either hate on it more or come back around to it more, because people loved The Phantom Menace the first weekend it was
They
out.
adored it.
People thought it was amazing. It
That's
wasn't
true.
until like a few weeks later where everyone was started turning.
Yeah.
The milk soured, if you will. So the blue milk soured. So let us know what you thought, and we will see you guys for the next big blockbuster movie in 3 years. I don't know. What
Yeah,
are
what's
you
that
talking
going to
about? There's Black Widow. I don't really care about that, though.
be? Yeah, neither do I.
Oh,
what?
Oh, I was going to say, when they went to, first off, I think it was supposed to be Jeddah they went to where the celebration was happening.
Yeah.
And they're like, it only happens once every 42 years, which is coincidentally
Yep.
42 years since the first movie.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah, so that was a fun little Easter egg in there.
Ah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, okay. Did this happen to you when we were in the movie
Yeah, I
theater?
had a boner.
There were at least 30 minutes? Well, maybe not that long,
Of
but there was
credit-
30 minutes of trailers.
Yeah.
There were so many previews.
I am at the point now where I'm like, can we have 2 cool trailers per movie and that's it? I don't want 30 minutes because by the time the movie starts, either you've eaten all your snacks,
Yeah,
or
that's
you're
exactly what happened.
or you have to pee already, or
Yeah.
your butt's asleep. Like you've been sitting in that chair for so long before the movie even starts. It's
Yeah.
kind of annoying. I hate it. I hate
there were
that.
so many previews.
Too many previews for movies I could care less about.
Yeah.
Like play 2 trailers. That's all. I think that's all any movie should be allowed to get anymore because they're all online. We've all seen them already. It's not like we're seeing them for the first time. They all get released online
Yeah.
and billions of people watch them. So I mean, what's the point of having them in the theaters anymore?
Yeah, that's true. I agree.
So, Regal, give me a call.
Yeah.
All right. The dead have spoken,
May the force be with you.
and with you, and with us,
and also
always.
with you.
always.
Bye. I love you all.